are here standing in front of Cigale, a historical theater built in 1887 in Paris's famed red light district, Pigalle. That name might bring to mind absinthe, artists, bohemians, and a vibrant nightlife, very much like the gritty streets of 1970s Oakland, where our guest Fantastic Negrito grew up. We had the opportunity to sit down with him and ask him a few questions ahead of his performance here, and found out that his charisma was just as compelling off stage as it is on stage. Dive in. So my first question is, how close to you is this Fantastic Negrito persona? Like, is it an extension of yourself? Is he your evil twin? Is he a better version of yourself, or is it just a stage name?
When he walked in, he wasn't here. He had to get into character. So I definitely treat it as a character. I don't want to be Fantastic Negrito picking up my 3-year-old kids. You know what I mean? It's like, I just, I love it as a very useful, productive entity and extension of myself, and I hope to be extremely useful to the planet and be a great contributor.
Right on.
He's kind of like my hero.
Okay. Is it also maybe like kind of a shroud that you hide behind, or?
I'm always hiding. I'm hiding now. I think it's a way to exist and cope with being a human being. I mean, that seems to be the hardest thing to kind of accomplish, is how do I become this complete human being? So it's just, I basically taken all the trauma in my life and just, instead of it drowning me, make it productive. And that's what I did with my album, Son of a Broken Man. My dad gave me lots of trauma, and instead of just dying in it, I decided to turn it into something useful.
Right.
So that's what I would see Negrito. Take the bullshit, turn it into good shit. Same thing.
Is this Son of a Broken Man a way to like speak to your father? Is it some way to find closure, maybe, or?
Well, my dad was 63 when he had me. My mom was 30. I'm the 8th of 15 kids. In a way, it is that my dad stopped speaking to me when I was 11. Literally, stopped. That was it. If I tried to speak to him, he would just ignore me.
Okay.
It's pretty traumatic.
Yeah, rather traumatic, I'd say.
And so it turned me into a mean person for many years. But then again, I just I faced so much trauma and hardships that I just, again, like, how do I make that work for me? Because it's right there, and I'm just staring at it. Like, how do I turn it into something that's incredible? And that's my life mission.
Well, you do seem to put your trauma and legacy in your music, like in your lyrics. And thinking of Black Jesus, White Problem.
White Jesus, Black
Problem. I knew I was going to get that right.
Jesus Black now? Okay.
My question on this project was that it's obviously very personal, because you speak about lots of your personal stuff. It's also very universal, because it speaks of transmission and legacy, and also lighthearted topics like racism and crime. And
yeah, I mean, it's
it was a very daring and ambitious project. There was a film, and you toured presenting the film. And how do you think? Like, are you happy with how things came across? Do you think they came across well to audiences abroad, for example?
I never care about that, whether it comes across well or doesn't. Has nothing to do with anything. I think if you're, especially become a middle-aged guy, you just don't care about that.
Right.
But maybe when I was 20, oh my God, what are they gonna think? I think the beauty in just becoming Fantastic Negrito, I was already 46. I don't really care, you know. I'm enjoying my life, and I love to do really positive things, and I love to live for other people. That's a great thing too, and just try not to want too many things. Like, what are they gonna expect of? That's why I make these records. People are like, they're all over the place. And I'm like, yeah, they are.
Cool.
I'm kind of a marketing nightmare, you know. So people tell me,
yeah.
You know, and that's cool. I actually started putting it on my social medias. Fantastic Negrito, a marketing nightmare. I think it's, for one's mental health, it's great, like, not to be a slave to numbers. Like, oh, you need 1 billion followers, and it's extremely stressful to people. So I love to live on the outside of that, and I love to give it the middle finger and just enjoy life and you're going to create something, just create it.
Right.
I think, in my view, try to create something that's constructive, gets people talking, productive, and that's what you try and do. And if you don't do it, who cares? Try again.
Yeah. Awesome. My next question is kind of similar, but like you won Grammy Awards for blues albums, for example.
Yeah.
But your music is so much more. Like there's a solid blues foundation, but there's all these other elements that kind of add up onto that. How would you describe your music to somebody who's never listened to it? Because you don't seem to fit one particular label.
I probably wouldn't describe it.
What would you say?
I'd say I'm a marketing nightmare. I don't know how to describe it. I started coming up with certain things like, man, I'm a rock and roll soul singer that's occasionally funky.
Yeah.
There's kind of a bipolar aesthetic to how I write, and I think that I imagine myself as four people that live inside of me, and I like all of them. Maybe I'm the Beatles. I don't know. Maybe I'm just the Beatles. I don't know. Like four, I pick four, three. Probably four. It's like as a hard rock blues guy, kind of Led Zeppelin-esque. Yep. And then there's like this funky soul brother that's in there. And then there's his brother that's in the roots. He's in the field. It's humming. And then there's kind of an experimental guy that's kind of really just a pop songwriter in a strange. So I like all four of those people. I've got to know them well. We have dinner sometimes. It's great. Why not embrace all these things instead of like, oh, I got to fix myself. Oh my God. That's horrible. I think that when you get to know yourself, it's fucking amazing. Like getting to know who you really are. And I think when you can embrace it, it can empower other people. So I don't know if that answers the question.
It's lots of good insight.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, how would you describe your music? I don't know.
Here's one other one that you probably will have the same kind of response to, but we like to ask this question a lot because the art of songwriting is so complicated and fascinating, and nobody has the same answer. But how do you come up with new songs? Like, is it fully formed with your band?
I just don't. I just try not to write songs. I try not to sing. I try not to play.
And things.
It's very organic. Let the world, man, let it take you. I go out to play tonight. I'm gonna always tell myself, try not to sing and don't. Just do what you do, man, and let it come to you. Stay out of the way. I remember Quincy Jones passed, and I had opportunities to meet and talk with him, and he always was like, stay out of the way, and I agree with that. Like, stay out of the way. Stop worrying about the outcome, what someone would think. Stay out of the way. I don't think it's for everyone. It's for me.
Okay, cool. You recently collaborated with Sting.
I did.
Who's a very well-established musician across all these genres. How did that come across? How did that happen?
I was playing in Santa Fe, New Mexico, opening for him, and he was standing by the stage, and I was like, well, that's cool. And then he kept standing by the stage, and I'm like, that's not cool. I'm nervous now. Looking over. Did we hit those notes right now? Yeah, it was, just let it happen. Hey, this is a song. What do you think? That's pretty cool. I'll be there Monday. I was like, Monday? I told everybody, you better clean up the studio because Sting is coming over. So people had to clean up and be on their best behavior. We even cooked a dinner for him.
Did you like it?
Which he still talks about.
Oh, nice.
Do you guys do that all the time? I'm like, shit. I think he thinks my assistant was my wife. I never corrected him. I just saw him in Belgium. How's your wife? I go, she's fine. She's so beautiful. I'm like, yeah. She is.
So how was it?
It was cool. Just like I was surprised he came to West Oakland.
Yeah.
I mean, West Oakland is. I remember Sting was like, "What neighborhood is this? Quick, come in!" And there's a prostitute walks by. Literally. But I think he was more surprised that I was in such abject poverty. You know, my record.
Yeah.
I don't know. Something like that.
Because you were born in Massachusetts, but you
grew up in Oakland.
Grew up in Oakland. How was the scene there when you were coming up?
Black.
Yeah.
and Massachusetts was white.
I bet.
So he's like, okay, this is cool. One of the good things, whenever kids would get into trouble over doing something, people were like, oh, him. He knows how to talk to white people. Go out there, go talk to them.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm like, hey, guys. And it was good to grow up in both worlds. I rather think that everyone should get exposure to everyone. It makes for a more well-rounded human being. Mm-hmm. I became very well-rounded, and even as a musician, my sounds are everywhere because of things just being exposed to different people.
Going back to Sting, like, what was your impression of working with him? What did you take away from? Because I'm guessing you guys have different ways of working in the studio.
I thought it was easy. His arm was in a sling. I wonder if he had gotten into a fight or something. But what did I take away? I like hierarchy.
Okay.
I'm a fan of hierarchy. So you're talking with Sting, or sometimes I'll run into people like Robert Plant or George Clinton. These guys. Bruce Springsteen, I'm just like, just shut up. They've opened a lot of doors. They're, these are giants, and just be humble and learn something. I mean, it's kind of, I feel that way. Like, okay, you got the ball here. I'm just this guy. I'm right in second place here,
Right.
I'm perfect. I love that. I like that kind of world. Actually, some people don't. I like. That's how we learn from masters, and people have done it 30 years and shut up.
Yeah, for sure. Very, very true.
Yeah.
And what do you think Sting took away from collaborating?
Remember when I left, he thanked me, and he's like, it was inspiring him, and then like Tim, and he's like, you got me out of my rut or something. That's good. I think we all need to be inspired.
For sure.
We don't know, it could be this strange black artist in West Oakland who dresses funny. That's like, wow, that's inspiring to me. I think it's cool. I like that we can help each other. Life lessons for the world.
Right. And he still talks about the dinner you made.
I just saw him in Belgium. He's like, dinner, man. Nice person, a very nice person. I get the feeling if Sting likes you, he likes you.
Yeah.
If he doesn't, maybe look out, but I think...
Right. And this duet, correct me if I'm wrong, but it was is supposed to be part of a series of duets?
I wanted that, but I didn't know how easy it is to make that happen.
Because of timetables?
I think it's like, I wanted to run into a lot of people, and I haven't run into them yet.
Okay.
Like, I could imagine that album being like, wow, like David Byrne, George Clinton.
I was going to say George Clinton.
I would say, those are just a couple that they immediately came to my mind. Okay, now I have to find David Byrne and George Clinton to make this what it is. Who else could be on there?
Think about it.
I'll think about it. Well, get Robert Plant. I'm always running into him everywhere.
It might finally happen, yeah.
He's like, Mr. Negrito. And I'm like, okay, I'll take that.
So, Son of a Broken Man is another very personal album. Is this going to be another, like, multimedia?
I hope.
Is there going to be, like, a film, a book?
I thought about doing something. The beauty of being independent, self-financed, self-managed, you can just do whatever you want. So I'm like, I'm going to, like, do this tour and, like, oh, what's in here? Maybe there's another, like how I did Grandfather Courage, very stripped down. Maybe you can do, like, a psychedelic version of the album and then just start filming, because the film, the last time I didn't plan the film, it just happened. I just started shooting. Oh, wow, this is cool.
Right.
So that some version of this may even exist. We shoot so many things. But I thought about doing something like in Son of a Broken Man. Why don't I go and talk to 10 other broken men and see like how we stop the abuse or the, what do you call it, the cycle of generational trauma.
Right.
I think that's an interesting film. How do we stop the generational trauma? I know how I did it. I have a son now, and it'd be interesting that could be interesting.
It could.
Yeah, I'm interested in that, actually.
I can't wait.
Well, I just reminded myself that I thought of this months ago. But that is something like, wow, close to me. Like, how did we get out of this? Because I want to leave the tools behind for people.
Right. I see.
That means a lot to me. Like, someone comes up, like, crying, like, wow, thank you. I'm like, fuck. we're fixing the world. Like, this is cool.
Transmission seems to be a big part of your.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. It's.
I can tell.
Absolutely.
We have a big, ugly elephant in the room, but we need to address this. Things are looking pretty bleak and dire in the U.S. right now. Where do you find hope?
I always find hope. I mean, I woke up from a coma with my hand off, and I said, I'm hopeful, I'm optimistic. I'm not that impressed by this stuff. I mean, it's like people should just read more history. I think we're missing history lessons because all this has happened. It's like, oh, look, the Romans are talking about the same things. Mm-hmm. Oh, the Egyptians, the people are coming over the border. I don't know, 80 years ago, you know. So I don't feel so bleak. I feel that, okay, we got some work to do. Mm-hmm. And be a part of good things. And that's how doesn't freak me out as much. Look, let's be honest. It's a reflection of who me too, are in America. That's who we are right now. Mm-hmm. We're a self-obsessed. Hey, we got a guy who's self-obsessed. Obsessed with fame. Hey, this guy loves fame. Self-importance. Hey, This is our guy, you know. I think he's kind of making us look in the mirror in a way. When I look at him, I go, well, that's about where we are. I know people will hate that, but that's me. I tend to look at myself like, where did I fuck up? Mm-hmm. I'm that person. So I live my life that way. If something terrible happens, I wonder, what can I do? So I believe that's a nice dose of medicine to, God damn, that's who we are. Let's get to work. We all created the problem. And it didn't start with him. You gotta be just honest, America.
Fair enough.
You know, we all created this shit.
It's kind of blown out of proportion now.
It's blown out of proportion, but I think we're kind of blown out of proportion in America.
Inherently.
We've voluntarily given all of our money away to billionaires, and we applaud them. Yeah. God, look at Jeff Bezos. Don't we love him? Oh my God! Then like Amazon,
he's gonna save the world.
Oh, we gave him the money. We volunteered the money.
Is writing about yourself in your songs and singing about your own trauma and history, is it some kind of therapy for you? Yeah,
you know, I always call myself a recovering narcissist. It's all therapy. Yeah, I mean, it's constant therapy. I found a medium to fix myself, make myself more tolerable to the people that have to live with me, travel with me,
right,
sleep with me in the same bed, or occasionally on the couch.
Mm-hmm. Fantastic.
Negrito.
Oh, yeah. 'Cause you treat me so